Hello, hello, hello. How are you? This is Els coming to you from Bemis Crafty Corner. And today we're going to talk about just some very basic card skills. We work with paper all the time, and if you need a card, it would be a good idea if you could make one. So, get out your ink, get out some punches. I'm going to show you a technique using paint chips. You need a piece of cardstock and some stamps, your blocks and things like that, okay? You're also going to need your scoreboard and your paper bone folder, okay? I'm going to clear this and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to start with our cardstock, and kind of the nice thing about this is that US cardstock is 8.5 by 11, and if you take a sheet of 11 and cut it in half at 5.5, that's a card. Okay, we're going to hold on to that because we're going to use that as well, but we're going to score this first. And to score it, all we're going to do is score this at 4 1/4. Because half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. Okay. Now this is a standard size card. If you want to do a different size, you can obviously do a different size, but this is the size that we're working with today. I have a valley. I'm going to turn that into a hill. I'm going to line everything up. Hit it with my bone folder. Voila, I have a card. Okay. Now, I'm going to set this aside for a few minutes because we're going to work on decorating, okay? I'm going to get out my ink and my stamps and all of that good stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, so for this next part, I have just some kind of scribbly, kind of not real, defined, but just some marked pieces. Now these are a little thicker, so I don't have to let them sit for any length of time to relax. I can just put them on here. Let's do one more. Perfect. Okay. So I have my sheet of paper. This is just 65-pound cardstock, and it's white. And I have some colors here. I have Orchid Opulence, Lovely Lilac, and Perfect Plum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink my stamps, and I'm just going to kind of stamp them anywhere, up to 3 generations, okay? And then I'm going to move on to the next one. That's the beauty of this. If you don't like it, you just move on to something else. Okay? Color. I'm going to overlap these a little bit. Here, there, and right here. And then I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to do that one as well. Here, there, 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 here, 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 and then there's really no, you know, rhyme or reason to this. And you can do this with flowers. You can do this with weird designs like I'm doing. Or, you know, you can just use one design only for the whole thing. Yeah, I'll clean all these up later. Y'all get the idea. So, normally I would put some rubber underneath these, but these are actually foam, so they have a little give to them. There we go. All right, get this out of the way. So now I have my piece of paper, and what I'm going to do is my card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to pick a spot here and cut. And we'll go 4 1/2. So it's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So we're going to go 5 by 3 3/4. Don't get rid of this because you can use it. Okay? All right, card number 1. Now I'm going to use a dauber, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to ink the edge of this. I have a purple one. Let me grab it. Gotta get my purple dauber out. Let's see. Make sure I get the right ink pad here. It's always such a pain when I have to do this. For some reason, the pad I want's always at the bottom of the last pile I look in. There we go. This out of the way. Okay, so I'm just going to ink the edge here. Okay. And then this can go on here. just like that. Easy so far, right? Okay. Now for this one, I'm going to be stamping with a regular stamp, so I'm going to get this out. I'm going to use the other side. And then I'm going to grab these. Just for giggles, we're doing a happy birthday. Because, you know. So I'm just going to put that on there. And I'm going to ink it in the same color that I used on the round. Now, if you want to use your press, this would be the place to do that. Letting the ink soak. There we go. All right, so we got that part, and then we're going to bring this piece over because we're going to do the inside, you know, whatever this one says. Here we go. I like it. Okay. Again, I'm just going to ink this up. Okay, so now we have both of these. What we're going to do is we're going to get out some purple cardstock, just a scrap, and I'll be right back, and we're going to kind of go through these real quick. Be right back. All right, so first things first, we are going to cut out our little sayings. There's that one. About the same on this side. Now you can do this large if you want to. You can do it small. It's entirely up to you. I'm doing it small. And I'm doing it small because I kind of stamped it too far over. Okay. Sometimes it happens. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut out our happy birthday. I'm going to take this down just a bit. There we go. And then this is about a ½ inch. So I'm going to cut this at 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to do a little snip. Oh, I know. Make that a banner. Put that on there. Cut that down. Cut that down. All right. So now I'm going to ink this, glue it down, and then I'm going to take this one and do the same thing. It is, let's see, about 7/8 by 4. So we're going to go 4 1/4. By about 1 1/8. Okay. All right, so I'm going to clean all this up. I'll be back and we'll finish this. All right, so I am just inking these just a little bit, you know. We don't want to be over dramatic. Just a little pop. Both of these. Don't need to ink these if we don't want to. Let's see. That looks. All right. Tape. Or glue. Entirely up to you. Glue it is then. I keep running out of tape in my tape runner and I don't want to get a new one out, so I'm gonna glue it. Alright, so that's our first part, and then our second part. All right, now you can glue this flat down or you can use some, you know, dimensionals. I think we'll use some dimensionals on the front. So we all see how that works. We're going to bring our card piece back in. This is our sentiment, so it goes on the inside. So this one we're going to glue down. I hate those cutters. Oh, I hate them. They just make everything kind of, you know, not my favorite cutter. Let's put it that way. But this one I can use to work on the desk. All right, so glue on our sentiment. Sentiment inside our card. And then this one is going to go on the outside here. And that's what we're going to use the pop things for here. So let me grab a pokey tool. And go ahead. Put these on. Now somebody once told me that I use way too many of these, like crazy amounts, but I don't think so. I think that I'm, you know, putting on enough to hold it. Let's put it that way. All right, so I have those on there. I'm going to fish the bottoms off. Number 5, Johnny 5. All right, pull that off. I'm going to take this, put it on here, and that's it. I mean, it's a very basic, simple card, but you can send that to somebody for a regular stamp, okay? And you know, put it in a regular card envelope and send it off. Now, we're going to do one more. but I'm not going to show you how to do the whole setup. We're just going to do one more. I'll be right back. So for the next one, we already have our base. We don't need to make that. We're going to get out our paint chips. And normally I would say don't do this because you don't want to add bulk, but since we're going to be doing something different with this, I want to glue it down, okay? So we're just going to glue down our paint piece here. And you can use, you know, a glue or tape, whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. And then I'm going to put this onto a piece of cardstock. All right. Now, I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to trim it off of this piece. When I come back, we're going to move on to the next part. I'll be right back. All right, since we don't want the writing, I'm going to put this in my trimmer. And I'm going to slice off the writing, both sides. Okay. And then I'm just going to get rid of this top one because I don't need it. And we're just going to get rid of it. So now I have 2 strips, which will actually make 2 cards. I have a punch. It's a little butterfly. And all I'm going to do is punch out a butterfly of each of these colors and then move on to the next one. And the size that you can use, you know, of punch is going to depend on, you know, the type of paint chip you have. Well, that one went for a ride. Okay. So now that I've punched all those, I'm just going to set them to the side for a second, because we're going to come back to those. Clean this up, and then we're going to talk about stamps. So I have this one that I keep around. It says, "Welcome baby, thank you, with sympathy, hello, thinking of you, love everything about you, and happy birthday." So let's just grab a block that will be appropriate. I'm going to let that set for a second so that it relaxes. And then I'm going to pick it up. All right, put that off to the side. And we're going to cut some paper. So for this one, we know that our card is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So we're going to cut a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to give you a very tiny edge all the way around your card. So we're going to build this up a little bit. I'm going to take a piece of that white paper. And we're going to go 3 3/4 by 5. This piece is going to get matted on here with just that little bit of color. A little bit of ink on this, and for that I have pulled some Mermaid Lagoon. You can round the corners on this if you want to. Entirely up to you. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto here. Or you could use tape. That's a choice. Okay. So I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to get out all my stuff that I need to stamp, so my rubber mat and everything, and I'll be right back. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my hello. This is just going to be a very blank general card, okay? And I'm going to put this, could be center, could be top, could be bottom. I think I'm going to go a little bit below center. There we go. Clean that up later. Okay. And then I have these, and so we're going to work with these. I'm going to get this out of the way, and I'm going to come back. We're going to work with these. You're going to want to get out like a paintbrush or a pencil or something like that. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to take our ink on our dauber, and we're going to ink the back of these. I know. We're going to ink the back. Okay, what we really want to do is we want to ink the edge and the back. So make sure that you get the ink on the edge. We're going to do all of these. And once we have these all inked up, then we're going to move on to the next part, okay? So let's get all these inked, and then we're going to move on to the next part of this. Okay. So I want this one to be a little dimensional, you know? So we're going to add a little dimension to these little butterflies. But Els, they're just flat butterflies. I know. We're going to give them a little love, okay? Now, why did we do this with a paint chip? Because paint chips have that beautiful, perfect step of color. It's around here someplace. But they have that, like, automatic gradients of color. So that works for what we're planning on doing here. So we're going to take a pencil. This is like a stylus. And we're just going to kind of roll these guys around it. So I'm literally just taking them, putting that on the center. It doesn't really matter, but if it's on the center or not. And then I'm just kind of holding it and just kind of rolling it around, using my fingers to kind of press it up, okay? Look at that dimension. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be applying these to that, and we're going to be doing that with some, glue. So we're going to go ahead and bring this over, and we're going to start with the lightest one at the bottom. So we're just kind of laying these out. Kind of where we want them, okay? And then I'm going to just use a little bit of glue just in the center here to glue that part down. All right, so I have a couple of different styles here. I have some candy dots. I don't think they're quite right. We have some pearls. It's kind of the perfect color. Let's grab a couple of these. And one more.
Hang on. Wait a second.
We saw the green.
All right.
Is that clear?
And then I want to do something on each of the butterflies. So I have these tiny, tiny little diamonds. They're tiny. Teeny, teeny, tiny. And so I'm going to pull these. Okay. So now that we've blinged this all up, we're going to go ahead and glue this down to the base. And again, you can use tape if you prefer on this.
Boxes on the shelves and then nice and flat. I have to use one of your books just to prop it up just a hair. I can't fill a full 4x4, but
Oh yeah.
I mean I could probably, if I took it as far back as like the table or the chair,
There we go.
to fill the full window.
And then you have a nice blank card that you can just open and write in. Okay? A little bit of a dimension. That's it. That's 2 quick ways to make a fast card that you can use for a party or, just to send a note to somebody. Whatever it is. That's it. Easy peasy. All right. Thank you so much. If you're new here and never done so, hit the subscribe button for me. It doesn't hurt, doesn't really cost you anything or anything like that. But it makes me happy. That's all that matters, right? I'm kidding. Nothing's gonna walk on your face or do any of that weird stuff. It's just, you're just helping me out. That's all. Check out the community tab on the YouTube channel. Go on over to the Facebook group. We got all kinds of stuff going on over there. There's links in the description box below. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye.